Let's bring in Charles Gardner from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel joining us now on the phone. Charles, good to talk with you. Your first thoughts when you heard this trade going down, Andrew Bogut leaving and Ellis coming in, and how does this affect now the Milwaukee look in that backcourt with a very quick backcourt with Brandon Jennings?
Well, I think the Bucks were looking for some help at shooting guard, and that's just been something that they needed. They've tried Corey Maggette, didn't really work. Tried Steven Jackson, didn't work. And so now they've got Monte Ellis, and I think they're hoping that this is going to work out maybe a little bit like their trade of 2 years ago when they got John Salmons, and he helped them reach the playoffs in 2010. In fact, he was terrific that year. That was also a trade deadline deal that they made. I think, they weren't thinking about trading Bogut for a long time, and finally it just came to be a mutual parting almost that Andrew had been injured, and he'd been frustrated over some things and some things relating to the injuries. And I think the Bucks also just thought maybe both sides thought it was time for a fresh start, and that led to these trade talks that finished today with Monte Ellis coming to the Bucks.
Charles, Sam Mitchell, when you look at this trade, though, Scott Skiles, has he resigned himself to the fact that he's going to change his style of coaching? When you got Monte Ellis and Brandon Jennings in the backcourt, now your defense is going to suffer because you don't have that big piece in the middle to clog the lane, to rebound the basketball, because we do know you have to control the paint. Has Scott just resigned himself to the fact that he's going to play more up-tempo basketball and just try to outscore people now?
Well, that's right, Sam. That's what everybody's been asking him. Nobody can believe it, right? But because he is such a defensive-minded coach. But the Bucks already have been playing at this faster pace even before the trade, and they've been playing some small ball, partly by necessity with Bogut out. They got Drew Gooden in there at center. They've been using Mike Dunleavy, Beno Udrih, and Jennings. They've been using a 3 or a 4 guard lineup a lot of the time. So I think they are changing, and they knew they had to get their offense better. It ranked last in the league in field goal percentage and points per game last year, and they knew that they had to change that. So I think they're still hoping to play some defense. I don't think that's, and they will suffer without Bogut. You got the shot blocker, and he's such a good defensive player. But they got Ekpe in this deal, and I imagine they hope that he'll add some kind of defensive presence to complement the other guys on the front line.
Charles Ersan Ilyasova has really played so well lately. He's currently the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Got that honor on Monday. Did his play kind of help push Andrew Bogut out the door? You mentioned some things internally. We know about the injuries he's had through the years. He's clearly a great player, but how much did his play factor in the Bucks finally pulling the trigger on this deal?
Well, I think you're right. I mean, I think that Ersan has just been a revelation this year. He's just improved so much. Not that he's a little different player than Andrew, can face the basket, can shoot the 3. He's quite different than Andrew, but he was giving them a big rebounding presence on the front line in Bogut's absence. He had 25 rebounds in a game against New Jersey, and he's really bit up on that end of the floor, both defensive rebounding and offensive rebounding. So I imagine that did play a role in that they felt, hey, we can surround some of these big men now with these 2 quick guards. I mean, I think they're going to be exciting to watch when you put Jennings and Ellis there together. It's kind of like Sam said. I don't know if there's enough points to go around there, but because we all know Brandon likes to shoot the ball too, and he's a scoring point guard. But I think it is a dynamic backcourt, and they've been trying to find that 2 years ago when they had Salmons and Jennings. That worked out, quite well, and that was the year they lost Bogut to that injury, or they were playing really well heading into the playoffs. They still lost to Atlanta in 7 games in the first round. They actually had a 3-2 lead that year in the first round of the playoffs.
One more thought, Charles, before I let you go. There's been some talk possibly of maybe some bigger moves in the offseason for the Bucks. Do you expect more moves to come here before the Thursday deadline or as we get on into the summer?
Well, I I don't know that they will make any more now. I guess I can be surprised. But, but they definitely are still reshaping the team, and I think they will do some things in the summer. This is a process. They really thought they were going to have a better record this year. They've had a lot of close losses, so many games that have come down to the wire. They've had trouble finishing games. I think they should be a 500 team, not a 6 games under 500 team where they are right now. But amazingly, they've got themselves back in the 8th spot, and I think this is a move designed to see if they can make a good playoff run and get in the Eastern Conference playoffs this season, and then take it from here. They'll have Monte Ellis under contract next year. Then he has a player option the following year. So Bogut's contract had 2 years to run. So I think they felt this was a move that they could make now, and it would give them some firepower right away.
Awesome. Charles, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Charles Gardner, the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and he brings up a great point. Sam, the Bucks right now in the 8th spot, but they've got the Knicks and the Cavs kind of right there. They're all kind of bunched together, the 8, 9, and 10. And again, what a surprise! All the trade stuff we're talking about. This is the one that jumps out first. They make the first move of the week.
Yeah, but you asked me something in the back. You asked me, you raced to 8. What's your prize? The Chicago Bulls, Miami. Okay. Now, if it's Miami, where's Miami vulnerable? Big guy, size, right? You saw that tonight. They didn't take the ball to the basket because of Dwight Howard. Bogut is a shot blocker. He clogs the lane. He can score in the paint. He commands a double team. So if it's Miami and you're Milwaukee and you get to that 8th spot, you can't win the game. You can't win the series because now Ilyasova has to play against Chris Bosh, and so now he's neutralized because his thought process is going to be playing defense. So I understand the trade from the standpoint of them wanting to score more, but if they could have just stayed pat and been a little patient and maybe done something different and got to that 8th spot, they could have gave Chicago or Miami a tough series just for the fact that Bogut, if he could have got healthy and played, could change the game.